Well, not for the first time today do I stand from a warm seat clutching a piece of paper. Good afternoon, ladies, gentlemen, infants, and others. For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm very surprised. By the way, my name is Julian Coles, and I'm one half of the Best Man team, both of us friends to the groom. I've never been to a wedding before, and I've never spoken publicly, so I was going to tell you I've been tearing my hair out writing this speech, but I doubt you'd believe that. When I was asked to be Oliver, Otto, Goatman, Genie, Abe's Monkeys, Best Man, I was shocked. Not solely because of the honour and responsibility that comes with the job, but because this meant our dear friend, to whom was classed as most likely person to change sex, and most camp person in his year, was getting married to a female. Second to this was the surprise of where they'd be getting married. A church is a fairly commonplace of ceremony, I know, but given Oliver's religious views are, I quote, I believe in aliens. I thought a church of Scientology could have been more appropriate. Now, although it has been done before, it is uncommon to have two best men at a wedding. And although I understood the reason to this, I've since learned the real underlying reason dates back to 200 AD, which stands for Anno Domini, Oliver, and not after drinking. Where a friend to the groom was often asked by the groom to stand by his side and serve as a bodyguard to protect him from the bride's party, where the marriage wasn't favoured by the father of the bride. Oliver obviously thought he would follow suit with the tradition, and so for obvious reasons chose me and my small friend Aaron. Word of advice, Ollie. Yes, we are pretty strong lads, but I don't think we can protect you from 100 boost-fueled scousers. Note to self, don't attend the 100 boost-fueled scousers. Now, if you'd all like to pretend to be doctors for a few moments and have some patience, I'd like to start with a popular toast. On behalf of the bride and the groom, may I please thank you all again for your attendance today in celebration of this marriage. I haven't had a drink yet, and I'm already, unusually, having fun. Bex, your dress is, well, I've written this before, and I haven't seen it, and that's so delightful. You look truly beautiful. Also, you are so hot right now. The bridesmaids look splendid, and big thanks should go to them, although I'm sure their job was easy, not having to make any particular efforts to make Bex look good. I'd also like to say thanks to all of the ushers. I know that some of the ushers had a call from Otto on Friday saying, "You'd better not be lashed for my wedding, you dickheads." I heard the sighs of relief when the breathalyzer broke this morning. Now then, as we're on the subject of booze, I'm reminded of a story that Mr. and Mrs. Goethe Sr. once told me. It was silly season in the 90s, and the family had been invited to a drinks party of friends. Ollie left the party early and returned home to find small pockets of smoke had filled the family home. Being the sensible chap he was, and really being quite intoxicated, and also quite excited to see the men in uniform, he phoned the fire brigade. Anyhow, cutting a long story short, there was no major issue, but the fireplace had not been sealed properly, and therefore the smoke had spread through the house. A few days passed, and Mr. Goethe bumped into the chief of the fire brigade. After a bit of a chat, it emerged that when this happened, Oliver had refused to let the firemen into the house until they removed their boots and placed them in the cloak cupboard. I believe this is where the saying, where there's smoke, there's fire, and where there's fire, there's no chance of getting to it until you take your bloody boots off. My fondest memory of Otto involved his nautical skills, or lack thereof. It was midsummer a couple of years ago, and the pair of us had gone off with some friends to go puffin watching on the far side of Herm on his rope. Once we arrived on the other side, we had to turn to following the GPS in order to navigate the rocky waters at a relatively low tide. I always make sure actually to look overboard as well as using the GPS, and from looking overboard, it was all looking rather rocky. Anyhow, After 10 minutes or so, I decided to look up at the GPS myself, to find Goethe was zoomed out so much that none of the rocks we could see below us were on the map, and in fact the rock that he'd been looking at was Herm Island. You will be pleased to know that Otto did, as a result, sign up for a day skipper course. Unfortunately, the course fell on a Wednesday pub night, so he's not attended. I'm fortunate enough to have watched Otto and Bexy's love flourish since day 2, and I think everyone here can agree that they are perfectly fitted. Like a Jäger needs bomb, they are both generous and loyal to the highest degree, with an equally enviable passion for life in all things socialising. They also thrive off each other. Where Otto is indeed very smart, there are some simple common knowledges which are lacked. But Bex more than makes up for this. Many hours have been spent by Bex trying to explain to Oliver the grammatical differences between the words to, and two. For clarification, Otto, two, TWO, is the number of pints you can still drink once Bex beckons you home. Two, TO, you will do the housework once you've been to meet up with your buddies. Two, Bex cannot come too. Two, the sound a train makes. Now I was going to give you some advice, but realised that no vice is as bad as advice, particularly when being advised by an advisor with so many vices. So I'd only say it twice that the only advice is to try and tackle your vices by giving other advice on vices. It still bewilders me that two people so made for each other can be so lucky to meet one another and have the chance to spend the rest of their lives together. I doubt everyone is so lucky, so embrace it, and I know you will continue to make each other very happy for the rest of your lives. I love you guys.